Here we are. We are live. I'm about to give it to y'all today. Oh, this is not going to be a fun one, but this is going to be fun for me. Over 50 years old with a story to tell. Over 50 with a story to tell. So last session, by the way, we talked about how it's needed. People older sharing their opinions, sharing their experiences, sharing their thoughts with the world, sharing their stories. And I got a lot of feedback from people. I got a lot of feedback with people. Some of the feedback was, I'm older and I don't think any of the young generation will listen. I'm older and I've tried to do a YouTube channel, but it hasn't worked. I'm older and I don't really get this whole technology thing. So the question I have, if you're over 50 and you have a story to tell, and if you're under 50, this will be beneficial for you as well, is who told you that you should not share your story? Like, who was it that told you that you should not share your story? Where did this belief come from that you don't think your story is valuable? Like, where did that come from? I can't help but think of how much the world is missing certain groups of people's voice. Like, if you're over 50, you've experienced so much. If you're over 50, there's a lot that you know that would help younger people. I mean, I'm young, but there's people even younger than me that could use the help, that could use your story. So who was it that told you that sharing it wouldn't help them out? Who cares if they're not listening or you don't think they're listening? Do you think that maybe you're wrong? You want to share your story, but do you think maybe you're wrong? Do you think that maybe people do want to listen to your story? Maybe your kids don't want to, but did you think that maybe other people would really benefit from that? Because I know it's like a lot of times parents feel like their kids don't listen to them. So then what happens is us as kids, and I remember myself as kids, we just didn't know stuff growing up. We made mistakes. But then those mistakes we made, we learned from it. And we turn into those 50, 60-year-olds who are like, well, our kids don't listen to us, so I'm not going to share it. Like, what if it was your story that would make the difference in someone else's life? Like the things that you've been through, what you've done, what you've experienced, what if that could make the difference in someone's life? Wouldn't that be worth sharing? Wouldn't that be worth the risk that maybe no one will see, but maybe someone will? It's all a whole belief. I don't understand why people are not sharing their story. We live in the world where you don't have to get on a stage. You can sit behind your computer. I'm in my apartment right now with nobody here, and I can share my story. I don't care if no one watches it. I'm not sharing it because people have to watch it. The value that I place on myself and my story is in the fact that it's valuable, so I need to share it. Not I need to share it and then see if people like it, so then I know if it's valuable. Did you get that? I don't share my story, wait for people to listen to it, then people to respond back that they like it for me to then say that story has value. What I say is my story is valuable, I'm going to share it. I don't know who's listening. It's not my job to make sure everyone hears me and listens to me and does what I say. It's my job to share my story. I hope that these live sessions is just proof of that. I don't announce my live sessions. I don't pick the perfect time when everyone's there. I just come on and share it because I feel like I have something valuable to share. And when you have a story and you don't share your story because you don't share it because you know people are going to like it, you're basically saying, I don't value myself or my story. I don't think my story will help people, or I care too much about what other people say about my story, what other people think about my story, that I'm not going to share because I can't deal with the what's it called? The reverberating effects of it. And by the way, can you guys hear me on live, by the way? Can someone just drop me a, yeah, I hear you? Because I think it's so true. People over 50, you're not sharing your story. You're being quiet. You're not saying anything. You're just sharing it with the people that you know, usually people around the same age as you. And the younger people who could benefit from it don't get to hear your voice. The younger people don't hear it. You don't choose who listens to you or who hears you. But that doesn't mean that it's not a responsibility that you could take on to say, I'm at least going to share it. I'm at least going to share this knowledge. You mean because no one's watching you, you think that it's not worth sharing? Really? Is that what self-worth has led us to? that I don't have enough self-worth and self-love in myself and my experiences, the heartbreak that I went through when I was younger, that I'm not going to share it. The mistakes I made in my marriage, I'm not going to share it. The reason why I have a successful marriage now, I'm not going to share it because I don't think it's valuable. Oh, awesome, Sean. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm not going to share it. Like, when did people stop valuing themselves? When did you stop valuing yourself? When did you stop valuing how just something you learned today could be the difference in someone else's tomorrow? When did that stop? Who said something to you that made you keep quiet? Who was it? Because your story is so valuable. That's all you have, really. You have the story and the things that's happened to you in real life. It's funny how we hold on to the story that we tell ourselves about other people and other things and the reason why we're treated like that. But the facts, the truth of what happened to us that we could share, we don't share. It's interesting to me. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? I just feel like someone has to say it. It's very interesting because here in Mexico, where I'm living at, there's a lot of languages here. Azteca, Zapoteca, Mixteca. These are all different tribes and areas here. And it's so funny. It actually, it's not funny at all. It's so sad because so many of these languages, even though someone from here is from Mixteca, which is a huge area, such little people speak the language. Such little people speak the language. And anytime I meet someone from these areas, I ask them, do you speak that language? Do you speak Zapoteca? Do you speak these languages? And they're like, no. And then I ask them, like, why don't you speak that language? That's like your heritage and your history. And they're like, oh, our grandparents never taught us. Or my mother never taught me. And that language is just, it's dying out. It's dying out. Because no one shared it. Like, what if you started to realize that it's about what you share that matters? What if you started to realize that? What if you started to realize, like, what would I, if I share this, it amplifies what I'm saying and makes, and it can help change someone's life by just sharing some of the struggles that I've been through and how I made it through. Since when did people over 50 become scared to just speak out? Like, when did you become so scared? You've made it this far in your life, and yes, you can be quiet and just live a quiet life, but wouldn't it be nice to share some of that knowledge that you've been through? Wouldn't it be nice? I'm just struggling to understand it. I meet some of the most interesting people, and I ask them, like, do you share these anywhere? No. Really? What if everyone did that? What if everyone learned something and they didn't share it ever? We all would be dead most likely because we wouldn't know that, oh, you can't eat that. Oh, you have to cook the chicken before you eat it. No, you can't eat that. Someone had to eat it. Someone had to die, and someone had to share that story from them. But yet people, we don't do it. We don't share it. We live this life of silence, and and I feel like we watch the younger people make the same mistakes that we made, and we just justify it by saying, well, they just need to learn for themselves. What if they didn't? What if there was a better way for the younger people to learn? What if there was a better way for them to learn? What if they could learn by you sharing the mistakes that you made? Everyone wants to jump in here and talk about all the great things that they've done, but how about, what if you shared the mistakes? You share a story that could help change someone's life. Wouldn't that be worth it? Got your life, what's going on? How you doing? Wouldn't that be worth it? And I just feel that it's missing. All the people that I meet, literally, I don't even know any. I don't even know anyone that I've met that's been over 50 that actually shares their story online. And it's very sad. It's just a voice that's going away. Just like the languages here in Mexico. Although the people are from here, they're from Mixteca area, or they're from the Zapotec area. They speak, they're from the place where the tribe grew up, but they don't speak because no one shared it. No one shared it. It's crazy that you can be over 50 and still fear the judgment of younger people. You fear the judgment of what people are going to say about your story, the mistakes you made when you were 21. What about you? If you were 55, if you're 65 years old, you just started at the year 15. Here's an idea. You started the year when you were 15. Mistakes I made when I was 15. Mistake I made when I was 16. Mistake I made when I was 17. Mistake I made when I was 18. Mistake I made when I was 19. And you just kept going up until your age. Simple idea. What if you just did that? Like, imagine the benefit that would have for someone who's 15 years old and that chose to listen in. This isn't school. Everyone who watches you on YouTube or watches you everywhere, they don't have to be there. It's voluntary. They show up voluntarily, which means if they don't like it, they can just go somewhere else. But there will be people who will watch and listen because they don't want to make the same mistakes you made. And if you could warn them, why wouldn't you? Is the question that the people who are older are just more selfish? I don't know. I try to figure this out for myself. I don't get it through my perspective that I have now. Maybe I could have maybe 7 or 8 years ago. But now it's like, well, if I make a mistake, I was like, well, I can warn all these people. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I warn them? It's like me driving and I know at the end of this road, there's a cliff and you have to make a sharp turn. And I just make the turn knowing there's hundreds of people behind me and I don't put up a warning or nothing. I say, hey, it's on them to figure it out. Seems like a little bit of a selfish way to live. And so I just felt called to share this message. I don't know who needed to hear this. And if you're over 50 right now, I really want to work on that this week and next week. Send me an email. I want to give out a clarity call to someone who's over 50 to kind of help them out and steer them on the path if they would allow that. Just send me an email and just be like over 50. Title your email over 50 to me. The information, do that's in the description. But I just feel like it's a voice and it's a group that's missing. And I think that if people understood that, hey, when I'm over 50, I still will have energy. I won't be just dead and exhausted and just broken down, because they will learn from someone who's already at that age doing stuff. And I feel like if we all can give, if we all can share our story, I believe if we all can do that, then we all can help the people who are behind us. We can put out a hand to help them. And we never know what something small for us, how big that could be for other people. So just want to jump on and share that. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting my channel. You guys who donate, who give, who send me messages and emails. I appreciate it. I love you guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next live. Who knows? Soon.